What's up, guys? Luke back again with another Gaming Week in Review podcast, where we go over the things that have interested us in the world of video games each and every week. Before we get started, make sure you smash that like button as well as subscribe with bell notifications turned on if you like content like this. But with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about today in this podcast is about Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight sequel, Silksong, information has been released. Recently, Edge Magazine did a piece on Silksong, a long-awaited sequel to Hollow Knight. If you guys don't know what Hollow Knight is, it's a Metroidvania-style platformer. The game is tough as nails. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is, in a lot of opinions, a masterpiece, mine included. Phenomenal game. I love it very much. I still haven't beaten it because it is very long and it is very challenging, but just all around a phenomenal game. So to give you some context going into it, there's not been a release date set yet, but they are already working on new projects for the future. So definitely look forward to Silksong, us hearing more information about this. Obviously, it's in a magazine that I don't have or own a subscription to, and I love you guys, but I'm not gonna buy a subscription to Edge Magazine to report on an indie game. But it's just good news that they are, Team Cherry is getting information out there about the new Hollow Knight game that I'm sure a lot of people are hyped and excited about. So I wanted to relay the information to you guys to look forward to probably sometime this year, the new year 2021, for us to get some more information on Silksong. I'm personally really excited to hear more about it. Speaking of games that are coming in 2021, we do have more information on Psychonauts 2. This is more release information from Tim Schafer, the head of the project. He did an interview with IGN recently and said this: "We mostly have everything now in the game, and we're mostly moving on to polishing stuff that's in the game already." He noted, unsurprisingly, that due to COVID-19 and the transition to the entire team working from home, that 2020 definitely did not help speed up development, and that's obvious, I mean, with almost every developer out there. And then in reflecting on the development up to this point, Schafer said, "Just like the first time with Psychonauts 1, it took a while to find levels, and now I feel really good about where they ended up." He also teased there's something that happens at the end of Psychonauts 2 that I set up years and years ago. So I'm assuming that he set these things up when the first game was being released or soon after, when they were planning for a second. That obviously must have gotten canceled, and now he's kind of rebooting this old idea. So I'm really excited. So we'll have a lot of the old game kind of interjected into the new game. So this is great news for Psychonauts fans and just Xbox fans and PlayStation fans alike. And I just wanted to kind of just note, the game is coming out for the next-gen consoles, and I just thought that was kind of surprising because it is an Xbox Game Studios release, but if you look it up on Google, it does say that it's going to release for PS4, and I'm assuming now PS5. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, but I'm just really curious that Xbox Studios would be developing a game that could very well be an exclusive game and kind of be a foothold in an area that has been all but dominated by Sony and Nintendo. If there's one gripe that I would have from for the Xbox brand, it's that they don't have enough exclusive games and mainstay exclusive games. I mean, they have stuff that they're working on, but it's all new IPs and things that we haven't experienced yet, so there's not a whole ton of excitement surrounding around it, which is, you know, understandable. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. I'll look into it some more, and I remember feeling like this was an exclusive for Xbox, but maybe not so much anymore. But it is developed by Xbox Game Studios. So I just thought that was kind of interesting, and I wanted to share. Limited run news this week, just like every week except for last week, and I do apologize about last week, guys. Just got caught up in just Christmas time and spending time with family and you know, and just revolving around the holidays and stuff like that, and I just spaced the podcast. I remembered like late in the day at the end of the week, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to take this week off. So I do apologize for that. We're back on the bandwagon now, and we're going to crank throughout 2021. But I do apologize about no podcast last week. So limited run news. First thing, just like we always do, is last chance games. And this is kind of an interesting one. Shenmue 3 Complete Edition. This is the collector's edition for PS4. It and the vinyls attached to it are, these are our last chance to pick these up. Kind of a fun one here is that this is actually not a pre-order. This is a limited run release of 3,000 copies, and it still hasn't sold out. They've actually put the last chance brand on it, maybe to try to push sales, but I'm assuming that this thing, I mean, it must have not sold very well. And looking into it with the Shenmue 3 game, a lot of people were disappointed with this game. They felt like it fell short of expectations. It was sort of an indie, I think Indiegogo or a Kickstarter campaign that kind of pushed this game forward, and a lot was expected of it. I mean, a sequel to a very beloved game, Shenmue 1 and 2. You know, I'm sure there was a lot of hype and expectation around it, and unfortunately, I don't think they could fully deliver on that hype and expectation. So I guess it didn't do enough to innovate or to kind of work off of what was the foundation that was originally laid when these older games came out. So whatever the reason, it's not selling very well. So if you are interested in Shenmue 3 Complete Edition, go and pick it up. I think it's reasonably priced. I think they could have dropped the price a little bit just to kind of get demand up, because it was a limited release that didn't sell out. But it is $149. I think that's it's okay. It's like, it's not a great deal and it's not a horrible deal. It's just kind of an okay deal. And this is what it comes with: Shenmue 3 Complete Edition for PS4. Obviously, the PS4 copy. Limited run games exclusive, includes the base Shenmue 3 game, latest patch, and all DLC on disc. I really love that when they put everything that came with the game on the disc. So years down the road, you have all that stuff archived. Amazing. All DLC included on the disc. Great. A welcome card from Hotel Nai-o. Sorry, I probably destroyed that. Chobu-chan figurine. A Bailu-chan figurine. Shenmue 3 Complete Edition commemorative Dreamcast jewel case. I remember saying this looks really cool. Pending licensor approval. A 5-inch die-cast sword and 7 stars replica. A Golden Goose VIP card. Bailu herb map. And also, guys, so that's what comes with the Complete Edition, just to verify. And then also they did have a couple of separate items. They were LPs. I think there was one that was like an 11 LP full soundtrack. I don't know who the heck would want this, but if you're really big, if you're like, I feel like soundtracks are getting a little bit crazy with limited run right now. Like come on, dude. Like, this game is not very well beloved, and like, I have a hard time buying a soundtrack of a game that I do love and enjoy the music for. So to put out an 11 LP soundtrack, it's kind of comical, actually. For this game, I think it was kind of a boneheaded move, but hey, whatever. If limited run thinks it's gonna sell, good on them. But actually, I do need to clarify too, this is actually a distribution from limited run, not their actual, like, it's not a limited run release. So just heads up on that. But I just did think it was kind of funny that they would release an 11 LP soundtrack for $300 too. It's $300. But I'm sorry for like getting giggly today, but I just think that was kind of funny that they would think people would want that. But hey, maybe someone out there does really love Shenmue 3 and really wants to pick up this 11 LP soundtrack. Hey, you know who you are. Go and get it. You got until January 3rd. So that's going to end for our limited run news. And now we're going to move into some Cyberpunk news. I might need to get kind of an intro set up for Cyberpunk. We'll do it kind of like the comment of the week almost. Seems like there's always something new to talk about with Cyberpunk 2077, and I wanted to go over a few things today. So the first thing I want to talk about is the CD Projekt Red's sort of been offering refunds / exchanges to owners of the console versions of the game, and I actually have a personal experience with that. As soon as they released this information on Twitter, they basically shared on Twitter, hey, we understand the displeasure with the community around these games, where we would love to partner with the retailers and start to give refunds for these games if you are dissatisfied with it and you don't want to wait for us. So I think that was cool for them to step up and do that. Was it because they felt forced to do it? Was it because they felt bad for the gamer? I think it's probably the former, but it's still cool that they did it. So I actually reached out to them. I have the collector's edition for Cyberpunk 2077, and I know that sounds weird because I actually said that I wasn't all that interested in the game, but it was available and people were looking for it, and I got it. I just got it. Sometimes I just get things. So, I picked the collector's edition up. So obviously I didn't want to return that because it's a nice collector's edition. I wanted to keep my collector's edition. So I kind of just reached out to them, and I think this is good for anyone else that maybe picked up the collector's edition too. And I kind of just reached out to them and got a generic response back, but I basically said, hey, I have the collector's edition. I don't want to return the collector's edition, but I would appreciate if I could get some other form of the game. And my hope was to get the Google Stadia version of the game, because I felt like that would be a great thing to sort of relay the information over to you guys in the form of like maybe in a future podcast or even its own video. So they actually did reach back to me after I did my initial claim, and my the first email that they sent to me looked a lot like their Twitter posts. So this is a generic response. I'm sure they have thousands and thousands, maybe even millions of these coming through. So I understand that they would have sort of a generic post they put out there, but this is what it said. It says, "Dear gamer, we're reaching out to you in regards to your request for the assistance with refunding your physical Xbox One / PS4 copy of Cyberpunk 2077. Below you will find a button that will take you to the form which we kindly ask you to fill out. This will allow us to provide you with further help in the matter. Please write down on a piece of paper or print out your unique ticket number. You'll need it to complete the form." So I did this. I went over, they have you jump through a few loops. Obviously, they want to make sure that you legitimately obtained a copy of the game. They want proof of purchase, and they want this information. So I went and I did it. I took a picture of the receipt that I have from my GameStop order right next to the collector's edition, and I took a unique picture with it to prove that I am an owner of this collector's edition. So I filled it all out. I sent it out to the best of my ability. And a few days later, I got another response. It says, "Dear Gamer, we're writing." I love how they say just "Dear Gamer." They don't even write your name. This is such a generic little response thing. But "Dear Gamer, we are writing to you as part of the Help Me Refund Cyberpunk 2077 process. You should have received an email asking you to fill out an assistance form where you provide a verifiable proof of purchase and proof of ownership of a physical Xbox One or PS4 copy of Cyberpunk 2077. Among other important details, once you have submitted the form with this information included and it has been reviewed and verified on our end, you will be granted a refund for the game or be given a key for the digital PC version if you have chosen so instead. I actually chose PC version. I forgot to tell you guys that when I filled out the form. I did choose PC version because Stadia version wasn't available, and I figured, hey, at least I could get a functional version of the game, which I think the most functional version of Cyberpunk 2077 is PC. So if you're a PC owner and you haven't picked up Cyberpunk 2077 yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel with bell notifications turned on, because I'm probably going to give that key away. I don't really see, I'm not much of a PC gamer. I have PCs, I have VR PCs, stuff like that, but I don't really use PCs for flat gaming. I prefer a console. They're a little more straightforward. So I'm probably going to give this thing away. So just heads up on that. If you've already filled out this form, please be patient as we proceed with the review process. We'll be getting in touch with gamers who have submitted their form before the deadline for the submission of the assistance form, meaning no later than January 10th, 2021, 11:59 p.m. Man, they're really on. They're really like to the dot. This is the exact time we'll be getting back throughout January 2021 with information regarding next steps. I wonder if I submitted my request on January 11th at 12 a.m. I wonder if they would let that fly. I'm sure I'd have a fit with that. That's what I've received back so far. I haven't had any sort of follow-ups. I'm sure that it's probably going to take place after January 10th, and I'm sure that this is sort of a damage control thing from CD Projekt Red, and they're probably hoping that as they update the game, that some of these people that requested refunds, that maybe they'll go back and play the game and it'll be in a more playable state, and maybe they'll forget about all this, but we'll have to see. If you guys want to know more about it, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I will keep you guys up to date in future podcasts. And then more news, guys, from CD Projekt Red. They recently put a post on their official website saying that they will have future updates and DLC that will be free. And they actually posted a picture. We'll have that up on the screen that says Cyberpunk 2077 free DLC starts hitting Night City early 2021. Stay tuned for more info. I have no idea how they would be able to work on DLC in early 2021. That sounds like a pretty lofty claim, but maybe they're talking about updates. Maybe they should redo this, I think, and it should just say Cyberpunk 2077 playable in early 2021. But hey, if they're able to crank out DLC and fix the game in early 2021, I will be a very surprised person, and I will give them a round of applause, but we'll have to stay tuned and see. But I did want to kind of finish up, guys, with sort of what I've been hearing just locally in my little bubble, you know, in Idaho, from my customers coming in that have played this game on old school Xbox Ones and original PS4s, not even Pros or S's or X's, just their originals. And I've had like 4 people come in and tell me that they played the game and it wasn't as bad as what everyone is saying. They said it was very playable. It did have a few bugs. There was a few times where they saw some T-posing and some stuff like that. And, I know it's a very small sampling, but I've heard like 4 or 5 people tell me that, they have it on their original systems and it's totally playable. So I think I still need to kind of sit down and do something like this, maybe do a video on it. But, I feel like a lot of there's a lot of downtime right now with news as far as gaming goes because it's the end of the year. It's all about holiday sales. There's not really, you can only talk about holiday sales for so long and New Year's sales for so long. So there's not a ton of like new evidence or new, not evidence, new news coming out about new games, stuff like that. Now they are starting to pour out now that we've moved into the new year. But I feel like just the timing of this release really like hit Cyberpunk really hard, and just the bad news and like the people at the top reporting that this game is like awful and unplayable has really trickled down, and a lot of the general public kind of like they just kind of listen and they agree with it. But some open-minded people came to me and said, it's not that bad. It's bad. Like it could be much better, and I'm sure that they are working to make it better, and it will gradually become better and better and better. It'd be stupid of them to forfeit the project now. So, they're in it for the long haul. So they're gonna make this game better. It's about rebuilding their reputation. Sort of like the creators of No Man's Sky back in the day. Big blowout over that. Smaller developer, but still big blowout. After these lofty big claims were made, and then they overpromised and underdelivered, but they spent time after the game released and they made it into a game that is still played to this day, still winning awards, still selling very well, and is still getting huge, like massive updates, turning a 2D game into a VR game, and like, dude, they've gone crazy with No Man's Sky. So there's definitely hope for games like Cyberpunk 2077 that release broken, and over time through patches and DLC, it's going to become, I'm sure, a very playable game on the original systems, as well as, and more importantly, the newer systems. So, stay tuned. We'll definitely, I'll be, at this point, I'm invested now. I've done a couple podcasts where I talk about Cyberpunk 2077. So, I'll let you guys know when I know more information, but I did want to end it with, hey, people are enjoying it still. Even though the majority of the public are complaining about it and saying it's what an awful thing that CD Projekt Red did, and the game is unplayable on original consoles, I know at least 4 people that played it and was like, it's not the best, but it's still a good game. The game content is good. It's immersive. It's just a little buggy. Once in a while, you turn the corner and there's a guy T-posing. So, it is what it is. Dude, comment of the week. It's the comment of the week. It's the comment of the week. And this week's comment of the week comes from Giovanni Reyes, and this was a comment on my Nintendo Switch fan or overheating fan replacement video. We've had quite a few comments on this because obviously, Switch has been out for a little while. Switches are starting to die and people want to fix their own Switch. So the first thing they do is go to YouTube. It's the same thing I did back in the day and still do to this day. If I'm stuck on something, or if, you know, I need to glean off of someone else that has more knowledge on it, you know, you go to YouTube. So this was kind of a cool question, and I really haven't fully answered it. I did answer it in the comments, but I kind of wanted to bring it to you guys, bring it to the light. So Giovanni Reyes commented, by any chance do you know where to get a professional to fix my overheating fan? Because I don't know where to get it fixed because I don't trust myself fixing it. Love the vid though. So Giovanni, thank you so much for the awesome comment there, and I would love to answer your question. It's a great question, and I guess I would just say, if you do not want to fix your own system, which is totally understandable. I don't go and fix cars. Like my car, if it breaks down, I take it to a professional to fix it for me. But there's a lot more mechanics out there, I think it's fair to say, than there are video game or console repair guys. So I could see why you'd feel a little bit lost or stuck when you're, you know, trying to figure out how to get these fixed. The first solution obviously would be to contact Nintendo and send that out to them, and you know, more than likely get just basically a refurbished one back in its place, because Nintendo does very little as far as you know, professional repair. Typically they will just you know, have some stuff, like if you ever look up, like on your phone, if you Google like Nintendo Switch repair or Nintendo Switch overheating, you'll usually get Nintendo links. And in those links, they're very unhelpful. Like their forums on Nintendo are garbage. Like I've never got good information from them other than it doesn't work, send it in. You know, and that's the whole point of this, the forum, is to just to avenue people into you know, starting a claim and getting their thing shipped out and repaired by Nintendo. It's a whole racket that they have going on over there, and it's not just Nintendo, it's Sony, Microsoft, Samsung, Apple, just name your company, they all do the same thing. So if you're ever Googling or trying to figure out how to fix your system and you see a Nintendo link or like an official Sony or Microsoft link, just skip those unless you know your system's under warranty, and or if you actually do want to send it out to them and just have them take care of it, and you pay the, you know, $150, $200 or whatever plus shipping. If you want to do that, then totally go and do it. But if you're trying to fix your own system, never use those links. They're terrible links. What you want is GBA Temp. You want PS3hacks.com and all the forums. There's way more than what I just named. The forums, those are where you're gonna actually find you know, semi-okay information as far as like DIY repair. Also, of course, YouTube is gonna be probably your best resource for fixing your systems. It is still kind of a wild west as far as like repair goes. A lot of videos just show the issue, but they don't diagnose it properly and then repair it on screen. There are a few awesome channels that do that, and I will do my best to start writing those channels down so that you guys can see them, because I know I can't cover everything, especially with the channel that I have that is very broad, news-based. We do skits, unboxings, we do some repair stuff, we do modding, so it's like a very broad channel as far as gaming goes. So if I was just doing gaming repair, I'd be able to hit all these, but I really don't have the desire to just do gaming repair. So I'll start referring people to other channels that have better information than even what I can produce on that. But Giovanni, sorry, I just went on a long rant, but this is for you. You just need to start calling around, maybe Google phone repair shops. That's where I would probably start. If I was in, you know, the middle of nowhere, I didn't know my surroundings and I needed my Switch to be repaired. Switches have a lot of similarities with tablets. So I would start with phone repair, and you know, when you call and you ask, just say, hey, do you guys fix Nintendo Switches? They'll give you a yes or no answer. And then if they say no, you just say, hey, do you know anyone that does? You know, and a lot of the times these, especially in smaller towns, these repair shops are, you know, they're interconnected. There's not a huge like sort of like feast or famine, situation where they wouldn't refer you to someone else. Now that is subjective. It's kind of a case by case thing, but always ask that. Hey, do you know anyone that might be able to do that? I would start by calling phone repair shops, also computer repair shops are another avenue, and then game stores. In that order is how I would try to seek someone that can actually fix this type of stuff. Now, if you're dealing with issues that surround what I did the video on, which is overheating issues, you should be able to find someone that can do it. You should be able to find someone that can do it and do a good job too. It's not like component level repair where you need, $700 microscope and, $400 rework station and, the tweezers and the solder and the flux and all that stuff. You're just unclipping a fan, you're pulling it out, swapping it out with the new one, replacing thermal paste. So that's what I would suggest, Giovanni. Just start calling around phone stores, computer shops, small retro video game stores in that order, and you should be able to find someone. But that's going to do it for this week's podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you got value out of this video, do me a favor and smash that like button as well as subscribe with bell notifications turned on. What do you guys think about the Psychonauts 2 release? And what about Silksong? Are you interested in either of those two games? Do you think that CD Projekt Red is doing a good job as far as damage control goes? And what are your experiences with playing Cyberpunk 2077 on an original PS4/Xbox One system? I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. And lastly, if you guys would like to support us on a monetary level, Patreon is linked below. We really appreciate your support. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Luke from 8bitplus signing out, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.